On page 20 of our textbook, we have a nota. Let me put it on the screen for you. And it says, if three vowels must be placed together in a word, the middle vowel usually becomes Y. The middle vowel retains its original form if it carries an accent mark. Of course, this is only if the middle vowel is an I. Y cuando la I va entre dos vocales, el estrés de la sílaba no cae sobre ella. Cuando el estrés de la sílaba no cae sobre ella, se convierte en Y. Okay, so when the I goes between two vowels and the stress does not fall on that I, the I becomes a Y. So let me show you an example here. We have the verb creer, right? And so, which is to believe. I hope you know that. Okay, so if we want to conjugate this in the third person preterite tense, that would be él or ella. Okay, so the ending would be yo, right? So we know that the ending for él or ella in the preterite is yo, but we also know that this verb is not conjugated this way, right? So now here we have the three vowels together, so the middle vowel becomes Y. And you already know the correct conjugation for this verb, I hope, okay? Now, if we want to have the present participle of creer, we know that the present participle for ER and IR verbs is yendo, right? So we would have creyendo. But we also know that this is not correct. This is not the correct present participle of creer, right? So we went over this participle in our previous lesson. So here we have three vowels together. The middle vowel is an I, and it doesn't carry the stress, so the I becomes Y. So the present participle is creyendo. Now, as our nota mentions, the middle vowel retains its form, or the I retains its form, if it carries an accent mark. For example, if we were to conjugate the same verb creer in the imperfect tense, and if we were to conjugate it again in the third person, what would that look like? Do you remember the conjugations for ER verbs in the imperfect tense? I hope so, right? So the conjugation would be ia, right? Ia, ias, ia, iamos. Okay, so the conjugation for the third person would be ia, right? So let me show you the conjugation here on the screen. See? Creía. And there you have the I in between two vowels, but it retains its form because it carries an accent mark. So look at the other ones. The I changes to Y because it doesn't carry the accent mark, okay? And if it doesn't carry the accent mark and it goes between two vowels, it's going to change to Y. But for creía, since it has an accent mark, it's gonna stay as an I with the accent mark. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Ahora vamos a practicar un poco. Vamos a la página 20 de nuestro libro. Okay, so make sure you go to page 20 of your textbook and we're gonna do práctica 1. Okay, aquí está, actividad 14, los verbos, práctica 1. Número 1, nosotros estamos, and then how would you say reading in Spanish? La Biblia en la clase cada día. Okay, so what would be reading? Nosotros estamos leyendo la Biblia en la clase cada día. Ok. Y número 2, Ana no está believing las noticias. How would you say believing in Spanish? Ok, Ana no está creyendo las noticias. Muy bien, and there you see the I becomes Y because it's in the middle of two vowels. Muy bien. Now, we are going to talk about accent marks, but first, we need to talk about syllable division so that you know how to divide words into syllables in Spanish, and then that will help you as we talk about accent marks. So let's take a few minutes to talk about how to divide words into syllables in Spanish. Now you have a handout like the one I have right here, and we're going to go through each one of these rules one by one. So here we go. Reglas para dividir palabras en sílabas en español. Número 1. If a consonant comes between two vowels, divide after the first vowel. Okay? And here we have some examples. Papel, you see there, okay? There is a consonant between two vowels. We have a P, and we have the A and the E. So we're going to divide after the first vowel. Here we have another example. Calle, America. Okay, and the examples, some of the examples that you have on your handout are different from the ones that we have on the PowerPoint, and I did that on purpose so you can see different words divided, okay, to give you more examples. Muy bien, let's go back. Here we have a note. The consonant pairs double L, double R, and che, that the CH is called che, may never be divided. And just so you know, these pairs used to be separate letters in the alphabet before. And so they were taken out of the alphabet, but still, if they are together, you can never divide them. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Like there we have calle. See, you could never divide between those two L's. Okay, here we have ella. Never divide between the two L's. Carro. Never divide between the two R's. And then muchacha. See, never divide between the C and the H. So you take those as one consonant, that pair as one consonant. So double L, double R, and then the che. Muy bien. Número 2. Always divide between two consonants unless the second consonant is an L or an R. Okay? Always divide between two consonants unless the second consonant is an L or an R. Here we have Pedro. See, we have the D, and usually we would divide between two consonants, but the second consonant is an R, so we are not going to divide the syllable there. Tabla, okay, we have the L there as the second consonant, so we cannot divide between the B and the L. Hablamos, same here with hablamos. Pastor, okay, there we have the S and the T. See, we divide between the two consonants. Cuaderno, again, there we have the R and the N, divide between the two consonants. And then we have, for the first syllable division, we have two vowels, and there is a consonant in between. So you know we divide there. And here's another example, ventanas. Muy bien. Número 3. Always divide a cluster of 3 consonants between the last two, unless the final consonant is L or R. Okay, here's an example. Ejemplo. Okay, so you will always divide a cluster of 3 consonants between the last two. But if the final consonant is an L or an R, you have to divide between the first two. And here we have ejemplo. See, the P and the L cannot be divided because the L is the last consonant. We have perspectiva, perspectiva. And there, see, we divide it between the last two consonants because the P there is the last consonant. Escribir, again, The last consonant there is an R, so we divide between the first two consonants. We have inspirar. Muy bien. Now, sometimes we have more than one vowel in a syllable. So we will have a diphthong or even a triphthong, okay? Diptongo or triptongo. But sometimes the vowels will split into two separate syllables. So let's learn about that. Now you already know the vowels in Spanish, and we have A, E, I, O, U. Now from these 5 vowels, we have 3 strong vowels or open vowels and 2 weak vowels or closed vowels. The strong vowels are A, E, O. Okay, and they are called vocales fuertes o abiertas because they are usually the ones that carry the stress in a syllable. Okay, that's why they're called fuertes. But also they're called abiertas because of how we pronounce them. Okay, when we say A, E, O, we have to open our mouths to pronounce them. So that's why they're called abiertas. So you could hear either vocales fuertes o abiertas. They're called both ways. Okay, and then we have vocales débiles o cerradas, and again it's kind of the same principle. They are I and U, okay, and they're called débiles because they are usually not the ones that carry the stress in a syllable. And they are also called cerradas because of the position of our mouths. When we pronounce them, we have to kind of close our mouths. Okay, so try to say I, U. See, you have to close your mouth. Okay, now a diphthong or diptongo in Spanish is a pair of vowels, either 2 weak or 1 weak and 1 strong, that stick together in a syllable. So, un diptongo consiste en la fusión de 2 vocales débiles o una vocal fuerte y una débil en la misma sílaba. Okay, and that's the thing. They're going to be together in the same syllable. So let me show you here. Abuela, nieto, aire, ciudad. Now here, abuela, okay, see how it's divided? Then we have nieto. See how the 2 syllables stick, 2 vowels stick together? Aire, see, and ciudad. Now, when we have 2 strong vowels or a strong vowel and a weak vowel with an accent mark, they are going to separate into 2 separate syllables. That is called an hiato in Spanish. So think of 2 magnets. Opposite poles attract each other, right? Like a weak vowel and a strong vowel, and that is what happens in a diphthongo. But similar poles repel each other, and that is what happens in an hiato. 2 strong vowels repel each other, and when a weak vowel has an accent mark, it functions as a strong vowel. So, un hiato consiste en la separación de 2 vocales fuertes o una vocal fuerte y una débil acentuada para formar 2 sílabas distintas. So, por ejemplo, tenemos María. So, see here, the I has an accent mark. So, it becomes a strong vowel because the accent falls on it. Okay, so we have María, we have Río. Again, same thing. The accent is on the I. The stress of the word is on the I. We have maíz, same thing. And here we have toalla, 2 strong vowels. And poeta, again, 2 strong vowels. So with María, see how the I and the A separate because they're strong vowels. The I becomes strong with the accent mark, so they cannot be together in the same syllable. Okay, same with Río, See how it's divided there? Maíz, same thing. Okay, we have toalla. There we have the O and the A separated, okay, because they're two strong vowels. And then poeta. Okay, so that's how we would divide these words because of the hiato, because of the two strong vowels together there. They cannot be in the same syllable. Now, when we have three vowels that stick together in a syllable, we're going to have a triptongo. We're going to have two weak vowels, and in between the two, we're going to have a strong vowel. So, un triptongo consiste en la fusión de dos vocales débiles con una fuerte en el medio en una misma sílaba. So here are some examples. Estudiáis. See there we have two weak vowels, two I's, and then in between we have a strong vowel, an A. And so that's called a triptongo, and they're going to stick together in the same syllable. Semiautomático. Semiautomático. Estudiáis. Remember, this is the vosotros form of the verb estudiar in the present tense. And see there how we divide that into syllables. And the last three vowels stick together. That's a triptongo. And here we have semiautomático. Again, see how those three vowels stick together. Now, there are not as many triptongos as there are diptongos or hiatos. Okay, so now let's practice a little. I'm going to show you a few words and I want you to divide them into syllables. Okay, I'm going to use some vocab words that we have studied in this chapter. So here's the first one, maletas. How would you divide that into syllables? Okay, so make sure you have a piece of paper and a pencil and work on this word. How would you divide this into syllables? You can use the handout that you have, that will help you. Okay, so maletas. Okay, so here's how you should have divided it. Maletas. Okay. Número dos, juntos. How would you divide that word? Juntos. Okay, here's the answer, juntos. And if I'm going too fast, just pause the program, okay? Work on it and then come back because I want you to work on it before I show you the answer. Okay, inyecciones, inyecciones. This might be a little hard. Let's see. Just follow the rules that you have in your handout and look out for diptongos, triptongos, hiatos. Okay, inyecciones. And inyecciones. That's how we would divide this word into syllables. Okay, informe. How are we going to divide that word into syllables? Okay, informe. Muy bien. Gente. How would you divide that word into syllables? This one should be easy. Gente. Okay. Hambre. Okay. Hambre. Okay. Llueve. Llueve. Now remember, the two L's are going to stay together. Okay. Okay, let's see. It should be llueve. Okay, I hope you have that. Okay, celestial. 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 Muy bien. Bendícenos. Okay, bendícenos. Encuentra. Ok, encuentra. Y aquí tenemos Uruguay. Now, there is a rule that when the Y is at the end of the word and it's preceded by another vowel, it will sound like an I. So we say Uruguay, right? The Y there sounds like an I. So it counts as if it was an I in this case. So it counts like a vowel. That's what I'm trying to give you a hint there. That Y there counts as a vowel. So how would you divide this word into syllables? Okay, Uruguay. And the Y there counts as an I, as a vowel. Okay, so now I'm going to show you some words and I want you to tell me whether we have a diphthongo, an hiato, or a triptongo. So it might be helpful if you divide the words into syllables so that you can tell me whether it's a diphthongo, triptongo, or hiato. Okay, so here's the first one, feria. Feria. So divide it into syllables and then tell me, do we have a diphthongo, a triptongo, or an hiato? I know you have a lot of rules trying to figure all of this out, but take your time. You can pause the program in between to work on each one. So feria, it should be like this, feria. And what do we have there? We have a diphthongo. Okay, Uruguay. And you already have this word divided into syllables. So what do we have there? We have a triptongo. Remember that Y at the end counts as an I. So it's like a vowel. So we have U-A-I, basically. So it's a triptongo. Okay, we have dueño. Divide that into syllables. And it's dueño. And then what do we have there? We have a diphthongo. Muy bien. Oeste. How would you divide that into syllables? Okay, it's oeste. And what do we have there? That is an hiato. Había. Había. And it should be había because the I has an accent mark, so it becomes a strong vowel. And so we have what? We have an hiato again. We have quisiera. Quisiera. What do we have there? We have a diphthongo, okay? And mío. How would you divide mío? Should be mío because the I has an accent mark and it becomes a strong vowel. Okay, so it's an hiato. And cambiáis. Cambiáis. It should be cambiáis. And what is that? That is a triptongo. Muy bien. Ahora, tú necesitas hacer tu tarea y nos vemos en la próxima clase. ¡Chao!